Honda has just given us more details, a little sneak peek at their upcoming EV, the Prologue. They also gave us a little bit more dialed in details of the future for their electric plan. So let's get into it. Honda preview styling of all new Honda Prologue battery electric SUV and new design studio process. So I'll be playing that design studio process video on the side, but we're just going to look at the image real quick as my kids are pretty excited for it as well. So here's the new Prologue. We already had, I guess, an additional image of it, so nothing really has changed, but we got a little bit more details on it. This is going to be completely solid, this front bezel here, and it's going to be, of course, the most aerodynamic Honda we've ever seen. You see how the door handles look to be inset into the vehicle? That's not going to be because when they were doing like the little walk around in the video, they showed actual door handles, which, I mean, I prefer actual door handles, something for me to actually grab onto, no gimmicks, nothing that pops out of the Kia EV6 in my driveway right now. Gimmicky handles are cool, but I mean, I'm just old school. I guess it makes it more aerodynamic, I guess. I get it. So we're going to have huge 21-inch wheels on here. It's going to share everything from the Blazer EV. It's going to be made down in Mexico at, oh, I forget what the Ramos Arizpe. I think that's the plant name. So Honda Design Studio in California is leading the styling of the brand's first volume BEV coming in 2024. California, Torrance, a part of LA, right? And that is the headquarters for Honda North America. So no surprise that the design studio there is leading the charge. And this is not going to be, as far as I know, this is not going to be a global vehicle. Honda will have other EVs and plug-in hybrids for the market. Look, the CR-V has a plug-in hybrid confirmed for Europe. We don't have it coming to the US as of, at least Honda hasn't mentioned a thing, so we'll try to figure out more because I'm actually going to drive the new CR-V next week. Prologue is the first Honda model designed primarily through virtual reality visualization technology, so that's pretty neat. They're calling this design Neo Rugged, Neo as in a cool word of saying new or updated or futuristic new. So if you missed my videos talking about where does Honda go from here as a two-part series of the past few days, I really looked into the roadmap into the future, but Honda has just kind of confirmed and narrowed down that roadmap for us to conceptualize. So carbon neutrality for all its product and corporate activities by 2050. Does that mean the Honda Jet is going to be running on hydrogen or something? Makes me wonder. Anyways, Honda will introduce 30 new EVs globally by 2030. How many of those we'll probably see here? Maybe a handful, I would say. 2030, 5 BEVs from Honda in North America. There's going to be a volume of 2 million units globally by 2030 for BEVs. Europe, Asia, China specifically is going to be the large market for that. They're already producing, and they have interesting concepts for electric vehicles in China. In North America, Honda has laid out an aggressive timeline based on 3 phases leading to 2030. So this first phase in 2024 is the Prologue, hashtag Gundam. Should be wearing that shirt right now. Make sure to check out my store if you like the Gundam inspired Gundam shirts. In 2026, production and sales of Honda models based on Honda E architecture. That's been pushed back a year. I believe it was supposed to be 2025. That's what my understanding was. Also, Honda will be working with Sony in 2026 to build EVs. That'll be really cool. I'm super excited to see what they can come up with. Sony's never, other than audio and maybe displays and cameras, I don't know how much they've had an impact in the auto industry. 2027 is going to be the production and sales of new series of affordable EVs co-developed with GM. So think around $25,000, $30,000 is what I'm expecting. Man, the girls have been quiet all morning until I started recording. So thank you for bearing with me on this one. So we need to go over the spreadsheet, of course, right? We're talking about a BEV here, and we got the old EV spreadsheet up. The Blazer 1LT is going to be the entry-level vehicle, and they're going to come out in different timelines. Like the 1LT, I think, comes at a later date. I think the 2LT and the RS might come out first, and the SS after that, and the 1LT. Anyways, 1LT is going to come out $46K. Whoops. And if you include the EV tax credit, it'll be under $40K. Which we'll talk about the EV tax credit here after this spreadsheet breakdown. So 245 or so miles of range on it, and we're going to keep moving. Blazer RS, this is the high-end like range model. Now you can get it in rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive. So we don't really have the power numbers of the Blazer RS, but I would assume it's probably front-wheel drive to get this 320 miles of range. It's going to set you back $53K. If you want all-wheel drive, I would assume it's going to cost you more. And then we're going to go down to the range-topping Blazer EV SS with 557 horsepower. That is almost as much as the EV6 GT. Got the EV6 in the driveway. That car's already fast enough. Anyways, 557 horsepower, 648 pound-feet of torque. That really puts the EV6 at a disadvantage because it only has around 550 pound-feet. 0 to 60, I just guessed 3.5 seconds. 100 kilowatt hour is my estimation for the battery size, because it's going to be having like 290 miles of range and 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. Like, this thing is going to be insane. And we know it's only going to cost $67K, but when you think about the performance you're getting, it's just mind-blowing. So I think the Blazer EV SS and the Prologue, if they make a Prologue variant of it, it would be the Type R or something like that. But will Chevy and General Motors allow Honda to have that high performance version? That I'm not quite sure of. They might just keep that to themselves, if you know what I mean. I have some additional news here. Senate deal includes EV tax credits sought by Tesla and Toyota. Well, not really by Tesla. Tesla's been okay not having the EV tax, so they don't want any tax credits. I don't either. I don't want any tax credits on electric vehicles. It's not really making them cheaper. It's almost like the more well-to-do people who have 50K plus to spend on electric vehicles get an additional incentive and makes it cheaper for the already wealthy. Like, I'm not a politician, but this legislation is making no sense. So they're taxing 15% to corporations who make over $1 billion in order to siphon those funds to climate and energy spending. The issue is that if these corporations who are making, let's say, 15% profit on the t-shirts and food that they sell in their stores, what's that going to do? Well, you'd think it might raise prices immediately by 15-20% in order to cover their costs. That means more inflation. The irony is this bill is called the Inflation Reduction Act, but it's going to increase the prices of everything. If the corporations have to pay into the government 15% more, they might not want to keep all their employees on board. So reduction and trimming of the workforce, and then also they could send their work outside of the country like they love doing already. So not a big fan of this bill. I don't want the EV tax credit at all. I think the market should do what it needs to do to sell electric vehicles, but I don't know. I'm not a big believer in government having too big of a hand on electric vehicles, but there's no way that they succeed at this point without their help. We do need a better infrastructure for energy. There's no doubt about it. Do we need better sources of energy that is more sustainable? Absolutely. But I just don't think this is going to help the everyday person in the near future, as things will get more expensive as a result. But anyways, I'm going to end there. If you enjoyed today's coverage of the Prologue/Blazer EV, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more Honda news and updates along the way. Guys, I'll be in Nashville in just a week or so to drive the new CR-V, so I can't wait for that. Bring you my impressions of the best-selling crossover in the history of the United States. It's getting outsold by the RAV4 in recent years, but this has a longer history and more sales under its belt in total. Anyways, I'm going to end there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.